Yo, what the heck is up, guys? It's your boy G Wiz.
And it's your boy T.Boogie.
Hey, and today we're here to bring you that the recap for week 15, and we're gonna go ahead and give you that week 16 matchups, picks and analysis here for you because you know, it's a big holiday season here in the Americas. So appreciate you being with us, man. Um Boogie, what a wild weekend of football, brother. Wow. I mean, how did you feel with all these games? I feel like there were a lot of underdogs that won, a lot of overdogs that won, a lot of spreads that got covered, a lot of spreads that didn't. You know?
Yeah, for the first time in the over 100-year history of the NFL, three teams made a comeback of at least 17 points against their opponents, which, that was those many, I'm about to call it the Minneapolis, the Minnesota Vikings and Cincinnati Bengals, and I believe the Jacksonville Jaguars made
Jacksonville Jaguars. That's right, brother.
two of our favorite teams and, you know, the fakest team in the NFL right now.
Yep.
So just an amazing weekend. You know, Minnesota clings on to their spot in the NFC, but Detroit's coming up fast behind. But I guess we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Wow. I'm just like looking over the slate here, and damn, what a wild weekend. I guess let's go ahead and start Philadelphia Chicago. You know, Philadelphia was favored minus 8.5, and Chicago played really, really well, man. So I know that Philadelphia won, but Boogie, what was the final in that one?
The final of that game was 25 Eagles, 20 Bears.
Wow. Yeah, man. I mean, Justin Fields looked decent. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I know that AJ Brown had 9 receptions for like 180 yards or some shit like that. Nah, like
It did.
what? And no touchdowns though. That's the
Yeah,
thing. This man almost had 200 yards and he had no touchdowns. I know that Hurts went ahead and got it done on the ground, man. I think it was three tuds on the ground. Um,
yes. Two interceptions, three tuds on the ground, which
yeah,
you love to see.
it's wild, man. You know, you really thought Philadelphia was going to roll here in Chicago, but it's been absolutely freezing, as you can see on the desktop computer. Down in the bottom, it's -6 right now. I don't know where that weather station is because it's -14 on my phone, and it feels like
Uh,
-32. Boogie, what's the weather
uh,
feeling like in Cincinnati, Ohio?
That's the thing. I'm sniffly today because right now it's 40 degrees, but by tomorrow or over the course of tomorrow, it's supposed to go from 44 degrees to about -2.
Okay,
So,
so it
you
feels
know,
like it's moving west because
yeah.
tomorrow it's supposed to warm up significantly here. It's going to be like
hmm
33 or some shit. So
Yeah, we have some sort of cold front sweeping in from the south and moving slightly east. Um, it put my father-in-law fear that he was going to be, he's going to be stranded for his flight to come down here for Christmas. But luckily, he'll get here before that. But boy, howdy, it's gonna get cracklingly cold out here.
absolutely, brother. And I just wanted to ask, did you say a cold front from the south?
I believe so. I mean, that's the way people are acting. I don't know. I don't watch the
Really?
weather
That's
anymore.
nuts. Yeah, I don't either, but that'd be insane. Um,
Mm-hmm.
all those equatorial blizzards that are that are coming in. No, I mean, yeah, but it is a really, really weird cold front, bro, and like everybody's freezing. Um,
Yeah,
it's
truly.
fucking nuts, bro. Um,
Mm-hmm.
anyway, with that being said, Lake effect in Chicago, bro, and in Illinois, that shit's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
like wild. Um, I don't know. Players were claiming they couldn't feel their hands; it was so cold. So, I mean, is there anything that you saw from this game that really stood out to you, Boogie?
Um, I think just the things most everybody saw. A lot of my factoids are coming from NFL.com, so thanks to the writers there.
Sure.
Um, uh, the Chicago Bears continue to show that they cannot protect Justin Fields sufficiently for him to be able to be an effective passer, which means he has to get it done constantly on the ground, to the detriment of the team, and I think somewhat to the detriment of his development. But the fact that he's still an impactful quarterback, despite that, is amazing to me. Shows that he does have potential if they can ever get a offensive system put in around him. Jalen Hurts. sprained his shoulder, and it looks like he will be unavailable for this weekend's game against the Dallas Cowboys. Gardner Minshew, um, Mustache Minshew will be in at quarterback for this game. So
Nice.
look for a dub here, and look for the Philadelphia Eagles to pretty much, I think, be able to tie up the number one overall seed in the NFC East, or in the NFC period, this weekend. And the only other thing I see is that Philadelphia is on the doorstep of history, with uh, four players on their teams at or near 10 sacks for the season.
Oh, no
Um,
shit, really?
hmm
That's awesome,
Hassan
man.
Reddick
Good for them.
Hassan Reddick has 12. Javon Hargrave has 10. Josh Sweat, he's at 9.5, so he could very well seal that soon. And the
Wow.
only other, and that would be it would be historical. No other team has ever done that. To seal it up, either Brandon Graham has to get 1.5 sacks, or Fletcher Cox has to get 4 to close out the season, which I think is
Very
easily
possible.
achievable. Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, they've been rocking and rolling for like the past 7 or 8 years, and they continue to show out in this young man's league. So I'm very impressed by that duo, and I'm impressed by what they'll be able to do moving forward here in the season.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That is insanely wild, and of course, we'll get into more of that once we cover that Philadelphia at Dallas game. One game that I was like really interested in was this Atlanta at New Orleans. New Orleans was favored -5. Um, but what was the final in this one, Book?
Looks like the final in this one was the Saints 21 and the Atlanta Falcons 18.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna keep it real, dude. I was really excited to see what Desmond Ritter could do in the league. Um,
Mm-hmm.
well, he threw 50%. Um, oh yeah, thanks, appreciate you. He threw 50%. He had a passer rating of like 55 something,
Yeah,
and it's like, yikes, looked
yeah,
terrible.
predictably bad. Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say this: Drake London actually got the ball, so
Hmm.
that's really what you want. And had he not fumbled, we could be looking at Atlanta dub here, bro.
Yeah.
You know, New Orleans looked mediocre. I mean, this game was terrible all the way across the board. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you here, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad, man. Like highlights. What highlights? I mean, maybe the alligator eating up a 43-yard play, but that's about all she wrote, man. I mean, is there anything that really stuck out to you, Boogie?
Um, this is a muddy game, and this is what keeps the NFC South muddy enough for Tampa Bay to continue to hold its position at the top, despite the fact that they continue to have a losing record. I mean, if I just wish one of these teams could get it together and at least compete for the top spot in the NFC South.
Yeah.
Um, it seems also that the Atlanta Falcons are still trying to run um, a a running and deep pass offense with Desmond Ritter at the helm, which I don't think works very well to his strengths. He's more of a quick rhythm passer.
Yeah.
Uh,
He's an over the middle guy, like a Tannenhill.
yeah, exactly. He can take his shots, but I think he took I think he took like 8 20 or 10 plus or 20 plus yard shots in this game, and he made one of them. So, obviously he's not comfortable within the rhythm of the offense yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you want to be successful with him moving forward, or maybe this is just your excuse to get a good spot in the draft, but
Yeah,
if
there
you
you
want to
go.
be successful, I think you need to subtract a few running plays from your playbook and add in some quick rhythm over the middle, crossers, things of that nature in order to, give him some layup plays so that he can, feel more confident taking those deep shots and get into rhythm.
Absolutely, man. And I mean, they don't really have the weapons. I don't think Kyle Pitts was playing. I didn't see him on the box score at all, like under receiving. Um,
Hmm.
or maybe he just never got the ball, which would be asinine to think
It
of.
would be.
Um, but yeah, man. Again, Drake London, 70 yards, 7 catches. I mean, that's respectable. That's what you want to see, man. I was really high on him coming out of USC, and I still think he's going to be a great piece for this offense. I just don't know why, if you were going to run the ball 30 something times, that you would draft. a stud of a wide receiver, like what's the point?
Yeah.
Like why wouldn't you just? I, I don't know, man. Whatever, dude. Atlanta confuses the shit out of me.
It's tough because Kyle Pitts is out for the season with a torn MCL, so
Oh, I
as
did
a
not know
trainer,
that. Damn.
missing one of the highest potential security blankets in the league in Kyle Pitts. So just a tall, athletic receiver with great hands.
Hmm.
Um, it's tough to get anything going when you don't have that security that a
Absolutely,
guy
man.
like that can offer.
Yeah, 100%, man. Speaking of a team that doesn't have any security blankets and really confuses the shit out of me week in, week out, is going to be the Carolina Panthers, who are hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend. Carolina was favored -2.5, but Pittsburgh, for some reason, rolled them. What was the final in that one, brother?
That was a Steelers 24, Panthers 16.
Yeah, bro. Like, what?
Hmm.
Dude, I I don't know, man. Najee Harris had 86 yards on the ground. I think you predicted that. I think you said he was going to have 86, and he had 86, which I think is wild.
Yeah.
Um, it's just like this game really
Still,
didn't. Go ahead, bro.
just saying he still can't crack, 4 yards a carry, but good for him. He's moved up from 2.5 yards a carry to 3.5, so I'm happy for him.
Yeah, hell yeah, Mr. Three and a Half himself. Look, Carolina, what the fuck are you doing, man? Either you want the number one seed in the South or you don't. Like, and I get it. Pittsburgh has an incredible defense. You got Minka Fitzpatrick leading that safety group in the back. Incredible corners. We get to watch these guys twice a year play our boys. Um,
Mm.
but again, Mitch Trubisky just terrible, man. So I don't really understand like what happened here, dude. Whatever, man. Terrible game. We called that from the jump. I don't know. You have anything to say about this game, brother? I do not.
I think I can help you kind of understand why Pittsburgh was able to hold on in this game, and
Please, please.
they came out in the second half and ate up almost the entire third quarter with a mammoth 21 play, um, like nearly 12-minute drive. So
Are,
they
are
just
you serious?
absolutely
That's
they went
insane.
they went I think like 14 rushes and 7 passes or something like that. Like just absolutely grinding it out to hold on to a lead and make sure Carolina didn't have many bites at the apple because Sam Darnold has at least looked effective for them
Hmm.
this past week. And if you don't have a lot of time on the clock, you can't take care of the Hydra in the backfield with Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard. You can't give them a lot of carries. So
Hmm.
I think that's the reason why they were able to hold on to this lead is just because one of the most beautiful things in football, if you get to watch your team do it, but one of the most like frustrating things if you're on the other side of it. Just an absolutely grinded out waste clock drive like that really took this game away from Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, it's a great take, T. I had no idea that they were doing it like that. I mean, again, great defense by Pittsburgh. So, pardon me, when you get those opportunities, um, Carolina, you really got to capitalize. I know it's tough, but
Hmm.
you got to take them where you can get them.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I'm not sure if it says more about the Pittsburgh Steelers' ineffectiveness at being able to move the ball or
that
just
was 21
absolute
plays. Sounds like it.
absolute luck. I mean, yeah, that's what like 4 yards, 5 yards a play. I mean, that's kind of tough. You're not, it
It's
would be nicer if
embarrassing.
it would be an 11, and 11 or a 14 play drive and it wasted 11 minutes. That feels better. 21 feels like you kind of got lucky and some things swung your way that normally never would.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Something that definitely swung somebody's way this weekend was the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Jacksonville turning it on, man. Really coming for that AFC South top spot as Tennessee continues to slide. We'll talk about Tennessee later, but right now, Jacksonville, man, holy shit, that defense is humming. Um,
Mm,
Two interceptions on Dak Prescott, of course, the pick six that ended it in overtime. Uh, Dallas continuing to prove that they don't belong um,
mhm.
in the NFC playoff contention. They crumble at the end of the game. Again, you can't
Yeah.
trust them to do anything. It's like they put 50 points on the worst team in the league, but and I'm not saying Jacksonville's bad by any means, right? But I mean, when you're talking, I'm sorry, I'll let you say the score, but I'll also say it as part of my point. A 40-34 affair, like it's just like that's way too many points to allow on defense. It's an efficient offense, right? But I mean, again, like what are we doing here, Dallas? Like you
Mhm.
will continue to say it here. How you play in December is how your team is. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm really watching, Miami and Buffalo are looking great. Philadelphia is looking great. San Francisco is looking great. Minnesota is not, and Dallas is also in that same category. Like you're gearing up for the playoffs, and you're gonna fucking put up 34 and then lose on a pick six of all things. Like,
Mhm.
what the fuck is going on here, man? Yeah, I'll just say ETN having 100 on the ground, like great, 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 great. Zay Jones having another big game, um, and Christian Kirk, still coming up big with some big time catches and big time situations. I think that's highly effective. That's why this Jags team is rolling. Boogie, I hate to, hog the stats there, but is there anything that you saw from this game that really stood out to you?
Absolutely. Before this season, the Jacksonville Jaguars were 1-112 in games where they
What?
trailed by 17 going into the second half. And this
Mm-hmm.
season they are 2-2, which just shows what kind of impact Trevor Lawrence has been having in that small sample size. He's starting to round out and look like a guy, and he's doing it with Zay Jones,
Mm-hmm.
Christian Kirk,
Mm-hmm.
overpay of the century,
Oh yeah.
except for Kenny. He's second place because Kenny Galladay is the overpay of the century, and a 59-year-old Marvin Jones. I mean, just the fact that um, he's able to get it done like this against a team of presumably this caliber, a playoff team in the NFC picture, um, just shows, and the fact that he's able to come back from down so much really shows the kind of caliber that Trevor Lawrence has, and shows that he has a bright future down there with Doug Peterson in Duval County.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I couldn't agree with you more. Look, it's really troubling. Dallas might fuck around and get bounced, with like an 11, maybe 12 win team getting bounced the first, like in the wild card because
Mm-hmm.
they're so bad. Like, I just don't get it, man. I don't know why we praise Dallas every single year. I don't know why we ride their dicks. They are not good. Like, and this
They're
proves
America's
it.
team, Garth. They're
Oh,
America's.
duh. Yeah, I forgot.
They
America's
got
game.
great marketing.
Yeah, great marketing with their terrible Fox CGI, and they're just whatever, bro. That whole shit. Look, fuck you, Jerry Jones. Like just because he made the deal with the media rights deal because he like owns whatever part of that Fox every fucking week is America's game of the week. Dallas Cowboys getting beat by a mediocre team yet again. They still have 10 wins somehow. Dallas Cowboys putting up 50 on the worst team in the league. Whoa, should we be talking about how prolific they are? No, we shouldn't because they fucking suck, man. Um,
Hmm.
Look, dude, let me get off it. I'm just getting mad, dude, because like
Ah,
I have some homies that are Dallas Cowboys fans, and I'm sorry, homies, but like, dude, your team fucking sucks, bro. Like, what are they doing? You
are
know,
they also Yankees fans and LA Lakers fans?
nah, no, 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 no.
Okay,
They're just
not that kind of Dallas fan. Okay.
oh, that'd be funny. Yeah, oh yeah, I just like all the best teams generally. I was a Patriots fan, until Tom went to Tampa Bay, and then now I'm a Dallas fan. Like, dude, they just fucking suck, man.
Hey, every year is their year, man. That's all I know.
Dude, I'm tired of ESPN, fucking Stephen A. and the white guy, Max Kellerman, all talking
Mm.
about how fucking great Dallas is, dude. And then every week they're always battling with themselves, like, is Dallas any good? Oh, I don't know. Oh, let me tell you, Max, fucking Dallas sucks. And then it's like an hour of them just bullshitting. Like, I'm tired of it,
Hmm.
man. Dallas is bad. They're gonna get bounced first round of the playoffs by a 6-7 Tampa Bay team, a team that has a losing record going into the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
You heard it here first. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because they're going to choke and crumble like they do every year in the playoffs. Maybe it's time to get rid of Dak Prescott because, when you crumble in crunch time, it's not the type of franchise quarterback you need. But what do I know? I've just been watching it for 5 years in a row now.
Yep.
Anywho, another thing I watched this weekend was the Detroit Lions, who are surging at the New York Jets. The New York Jets were favored -2.5, but Detroit went ahead and got away with the win in this one. Boogie, what was the final?
The final score was the Detroit Lions 20 and the New York Jets 17.
That's right, man. And Detroit really looked just okay. Like, I'm not going to
Hmm.
sugarcoat it. This game was of course I picked the over at 43.5 because I thought Detroit was going to score 30 points. But, when it came down to that last second drive, yes, thank you, Brain, that fourth quarter drive by Jared Goff to uh, bring the Lions back in and secure the dub. I mean, wow, I just knew that my chances were shot. A lot of defense being played. Again, it was very, very cold. So, what do you do? Um, I don't know, man. I find it interesting that Garrett Wilson only had 4 receptions, but he had 98 yards. Like, holy shit.
Hmm.
What a stud. These
A stat
guys,
line you love to see. Yeah.
yeah, it's just confusing. Not as confusing as AJ Brown's 9 for 181, but
No
e-
tud.
equal, yeah, no tide, but equally as confusing, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything that you saw from this game, Bug, that really stood out to you?
Oh, you know I did. You love to see it. Cinderella story of the season, the Detroit Lions on a 6-game win streak after starting out 1-7. Uh threatening to come into the playoffs if they can continue this win streak. You know, they they look like they have holes. They look like an uneven team. But
Sure.
what a feel good story for the people of Detroit to have a team they can rally behind.
Hmm.
Finally, after 5 million years of irrelevancy. Um, and I just want to point out that the current Defensive Player of the Year favorite, Ahmad Sauce Gardner, was not targeted once in this game. In 66 snaps, they did not throw to his side of the field. They did not throw to his receiver. He was not targeted once. And
Seriously?
that's the power. Yes, sir.
That's wild,
Absolutely.
dude. That's
That
wild.
is that is the power of having a shutdown corner. You take away half of the field. And that's probably why Detroit couldn't get it going, is because they game planned completely away from Sauce, only could work with one half of the field. And that may have worked in the 90s, but that doesn't work in the modern day NFL. So,
Yeah.
um, the Detroit Lions having a Carolina Panthers esque game where they kind of just muddle around in the water for the first 3 quarters of the game, and then pull off one last minute drive to seal the deal. But yeah, I mean, I'm very impressed by the Detroit Lions. I think this is a good foundation for them moving forward. And
Hmm.
the New York Jets, still at this point, even with a well coached defense and good pieces on offense, are still a quarterback away. I mean, Zach Wilson isn't the answer. Joe Flacco isn't the answer. Mike White looking uneven the longer he's exposed to the rigors of an NFL season.
Hmm.
what's the answer going to be for the New York Jets? I'm not quite sure. Do they grab Geno Smith back and try to do a little feel good reunion in free agency this next year?
Hmm. It's not a bad idea, man. The Jets again, like they've got the weapons. I think had their running back not gone down earlier in the season, we'd be looking at a different style of offense. It's really hard to say,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. But you're right. There's been a lot of inconsistencies from both, like
Mm-hmm.
from both sides. Yeah, we'll see, dude. I'm really excited for Detroit, dude. Um,
Absolutely.
Another team I was really excited for this weekend was the Houston Texans, who were hosting Kansas City. Kansas City was favored by -14, but almost lost in overtime. Boogie, what was the final on that one?
Final score was the Kansas City Chiefs 30, the Texans 24.
Exactly, man. And the Chiefs, like, this is what worries me about the Chiefs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, hello. Sorry, I accidentally hit the scroll wheel on our sheet here. Anyway, what really worries me about Kansas City, man, is Patrick Mahomes one of the greatest quarterbacks ever? Yes, like hands down, obviously. Um, but when you let a 1-17 in one team, or a 1-16 in one team, ultimately, I know that's not the record now, but when you let them play you that hard, um, it's concerning, right? Like, obviously, the Texans were playing for themselves and they just wanted to upset the Chiefs. But what concerns me is that this Chiefs defense is allowing a stagnant Houston offense to put up 24 points on them and tie the game. Pat Mahomes, I think, threw 2 picks in this one. Maybe not. I know he had like 336, a couple of
The thing is,
touchdowns.
I
Go
mean,
ahead,
that's
brother.
that's my little factoid for the week is that Patrick Mahomes is actually very effective in this game. He showed a command of the short and underneath game with a 36 completions to 41 attempts, 336 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and I believe no fumble. Well, one fumble, but he recovered it. So,
Wow.
Patrick Mahomes and that offense is not the problem. They use this game, I think, as basically a testing ground for their underneath concepts.
Sure.
But
That's fair,
you're
but sorry, good.
you're absolutely right about the defense. The Kansas City defense is currently ranked 24th in DVOA, which would be the worst DVOA rank to make it into the playoffs. So, if they end up having to go against one of the top teams in the AFC again in the playoffs, the Bengals, the Bills, something of that nature, they could get exposed on defense again for a
Mhm.
for a second year in the row.
Yeah, and they're trending towards hosting the Miami Dolphins in the first round, wild card weekend. Which, if I'm Kansas City, I do not want to see that. Right? You're talking about a Miami Dolphins team that's like really rolling right now, and I think they outplayed Buffalo um, in that game. It just, fucking Josh Allen. Like, what do you do about that? Right? Running for 70 yards and just like breaking out of tackles and throwing. Can Mahomes do that as well? Yes, but I feel like to a different degree, right? Kansas City, just be careful. You are a prolific team. You are a dynasty. Um, you should be concerned. If I'm Steve Spagnuolo right now, I'm concerned. If I'm
Yeah.
Andy Reid, I'm concerned about what kind of game Steve Spagnuolo is calling now. Has he been consistent and done very well? Yes. Um, However, these past 3-4 weeks have been
Mm.
suspect at best on defense. Like, you're just allowing a lot of teams to get back into it. Like, if I'm Kansas City, I don't want to see the Chargers right now. They're surging. I don't want to see Miami. Um,
Mm.
you know, as things lay now, the second round would be Kansas City hosting Cincinnati. So it's just kind of like I don't want to see that team either right now. Like, it's like At what point do we try to shore things up or flip the script and just start scoring 50? Like, if you're going to do that, and if you're going to say this is a game where we wanted to show our underneath concepts worked, which, okay, I respect that. But I mean, can't be doing this shit every week where you're in like tough nail biting situations. You are still 11-3, so ball out. Obviously they have a incredible record, but again, man, just like really concerning on defense, in my opinion. Um,
The thing I'm hanging my hat on, if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, is the fact that they were able to. Well, it's the Houston Texans, so the fact that you were able to basically be perfect on your underneath concepts is great and all. It'll probably translate to moderate success against a more skillful team, but the thing I would hang my hat on is I finally figured out my running back rotation. Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of it. Isaiah Pacheco running hard and fast, and Jerick McKinnon being able to take care of the passing and take some of the load as well.
yeah,
Um,
McKinnon looked great, man.
hmm absolutely. I'm just that's what I'm hanging my hat on, and that's what I'm taking moving forward going into the playoffs. Is that everything on that end has been figured out?
Absolutely. Two teams that were playing for their playoff lives this weekend: the Las Vegas Raiders hosting the New England Patriots. The Patriots just doing some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen in football ever. Um, Yo, you mind marking these up, bro? The clicking of the mouse is extremely loud on our
Yeah.
recording. Thank you so much. Um, wow, dude. Okay, so you're talking like a 24-24 affair. Um, the New England secondary really locking up Devontae Adams. Locking up, I say, very passively. But I mean, they did a better job than most.
Kind of
Um,
like it's kind of like whenever you play against KD as a basketball team.
mhm.
You just want to make sure that he's the one scoring all the points, and you just kind of, you do your best against him, but he's still going to get his, but you want
Yeah,
to slow him down at least.
exactly. That's very well said. New England really in control here. A really great run by Stevenson, and then a bunch of laterals that just really got out of hand. Boogie, did you see this? Did you want to explain what happened here in the final seconds?
Yes, I believe I did see this. Ramondre with a gorgeous run up to the right side. Um, he was trying to play a little hero ball, and at first glance, the lateral to, I believe, I forget who his trailer was, because
I
I
don't
think
remember either.
I think it was Jacoby Myers. His trailer, Jacoby Myers, it was kind of like a hook and ladder kind of look, and it looked like he may have been able to break it out. Unfortunately, Jacoby then saw that he was in imminent danger and tried to lateral it back to Mac Jones, but unfortunately, Mac Jones had just gotten stiff armed by, one of the best defenders in recent history, Chandler Jones, former Arizona Cardinal. Don't know why they let him go, but Mac Jones had just gotten stiff armed by Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones grabs the ball and runs it back for a touchdown to seal the deal in regulation.
Yeah, man. How
Tough break.
embarrassing. He could have just went down. This game would have gone to overtime. Like it's just that easy. Um,
They
bad,
got stars in their eyes.
yeah, bad situational football, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
if ever you're thinking, I got to throw this thing back across the field 30 yards, probably shouldn't do it. Right.
Yeah. To be fair,
Yikes.
to be fair to Jacoby, he handled it very maturely. I don't think Bill Belichick's going to give him the old-fashioned Bill Belichick benching where he doesn't see the field until next year, because he was very remorseful about his decision, and took on the blame himself. Very mature about it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
we'll see.
I guess we'll see Saturday, won't we?
Yeah. Um,
Furthermore, yeah, I mean, but again, like yes, he handled it maturely. Like, good for him for taking the blame because it's almost like
mhm.
it was his fault. It's it's just like, dude, like, wow, 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 wow. I ain't
New
seen.
England on the receiving end of just, or on the bad end of just two of the dumbest lateral plays in history, just leading the day. put Rob Gronkowski out there at safety to, allow the Miami Dolphins to come back against them.
Yeah,
And
that's what's going on here, man? Fucking hilarious, bro. And then Bill Belichick just being as enthusiastic as possible in his post game presser with such crowd favorites as, yeah, just a bad play. And my personal favorite, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yeah, mm-hmm. So,
but
yeah,
hey,
dude. And
if you ask him about shortstops from the 1950s, he's ready to talk to you.
yeah, no, funny guy, man.
If you ask him about his favorite long snapper from, the Army football team, he'll talk to you all day long. But goddamn, try to talk to him about a fucking game, which is your goddamn job.
Yeah, he doesn't
Nothing.
give a shit about anything. Another team that feels like they don't give a shit about anything. The Denver Broncos hosting the Arizona Cardinals. Denver really just burying the Cardinals. What was the final on this one, bud?
The Denver Broncos 24, the Arizona Cardinals 15.
Yeah, man, and it looked like didn't even look that close the entire game. Like, I mean, of course, J.J. Watt getting his 3 sacks. This
Mhm.
Denver offense looking more efficient with Kyle ripping it up out there. He was he looked much more efficient than Russell Wilson. He actually distributed the ball well. Um, it's just wild, man. It's wild that like without Russell Wilson, this Denver team is actually scoring points. Like, what's up with that? Just embarrassing for the Denver Broncos organization. And shout outs to Rippin, man. You got yourself a starting position. It looks like if I were doing things here. Is there anything that stood out to you from this game, book?
Whether Kyler Murray is at the helm, whether Colt McCoy is, whether Trace McSorley is at the helm, Arizona continues to just be a 30-minute team. They held on well enough in the first 2 quarters of this game, but in the last half just could not do a goddamn thing. I don't blame them too much. Again, Colt McCoy went down with a concussion halfway through the game,
Oh,
and
seriously?
yeah, and Trace McSorley, the number 3 quarterback on the depth chart, had to come in and try to just do something, anything against this Broncos defense. Um, you know, Arizona's just squandered their potential this year. I imagine that the hard knocks for the midseason hard knocks for Arizona is nigh unwatchable because there's just no drama. There's no verve, competitiveness. There's nothing there. Um, and I'll just say that J.J. Watt's 3 sack day, came against a rookie quarterback who was probably taking too long to process, and it's
Mhm.
more akin to that phenomenon when dementia patients have like one really good day where they're with it and they sparkle and shine and their personality comes back after years of being hidden under Alzheimer's or dementia, and
Sure.
then the next day they fucking die
Yeah.
because that's just one of the things that happens with dementia. That's the equivalent. This game is that equivalent for JJ Watt. This is probably his last hurrah. A December game that means nothing against another losing record team. And him getting one final taste of glory. That's that.
Absolutely,
That's
Manning.
all, folks.
Yeah, and good for him. And consistent with every other 3 sack game he's ever had. He got randomly selected for a PED drug test the day after his 3 sack performance against the Broncos. Um, so good for
Ah,
him.
so fucking funny. And I mean, I wonder. I'll just say that I wonder.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it had nothing to do with him having all the time in the world there, but
Yeah.
what do I know? Speaking of a team that had all the time in the world to do whatever they wanted, the Cincinnati Bengals, team bias, um, down in Tampa, adjacent to Ybor City, tearing it up. Cincinnati favored -3.5. Um, and wow, this game looked really, really scary in the first half. Book, of course, we were
Mhm.
down 17-0. Tampa Bay, for the first time this year, was using play action and making pre-snap adjustments,
Mhm.
which sounds absolutely wild to say out loud, but it worked. It
Yeah.
really confused the Cincinnati secondary. Um, you know, Boog, I'll let you go ahead and give the final on this one, and then I'll passion it out if you don't mind.
Yeah, please. My notes today are again let G talk about this game. The Cincinnati Bengals scored 34 points, including what is that, 31 in the second half, and to the Tampa Bay 23 points.
Yeah, exactly. And it actually wasn't even that close. That final touchdown coming in garbage time against our third string defensive unit because this game was way over. Um, Look, man, Lou Anarumo proving once again he deserves a head coaching position in this league. Probably, no, not probably. Cincinnati is the best adjustments team in the league, whether it's offense, defense. For the past 2 years, they have led the league in efficient adjustments. I don't know how you um,
Wonder if there's a
quantify that.
stat line for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you quantify that, but like, dude, the tail is in the tape, dude. We did it down 16 against Kansas City in their house in the AFC Championship game. We just did it against a Tampa Bay team that really had our number. Now, does it help that we started with four straight possessions inside the 50-yard line? Yes. That's more so to say that this defense really came alive, man. Forcing four straight turnovers, and it all started with that Giovanni Bernard fumble, right? And a lot of people are giving him flack and talking a bunch of shit about how like, oh, he sucks and this and that. It's like, nah, man. He was trying to give the signal not to do it after he read the he read what the defense, the special teams defense was showing, and he was like, no. And instead of like reading that, they snapped the ball instead. So like just
Mm.
um, a whole cat on a hot tin roof situation there, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that just led to a Bengals field goal, right? So you're thinking, oh, okay, that wasn't really all that bad. But then Trey Flowers being 6'3", really we have him out there to cover tight ends, and he did that well, intercepting the ball on a really bad throw by Tom Brady. Let's keep it real. This defense did the same thing that they do to every single team. They show blitz and they drop eight. Okay, we did that like three times in a row and forced three straight turnovers. Like it's absolutely insane. And then what I think is unique about the Cincinnati defense is that we show the same look. We show the same cover look, right? So we have
Mhm.
all these guys, and it looks like we're bringing the heat. Tom Brady's calling out the mics. He's calling out protection, and then we drop eight. So then he looks kind of like a fool, and he's like, "Oh shit, there's people everywhere. Let me get this out." Interception. The next series, we showed the same look again, and he's like, "Oh, okay, they're gonna drop eight, so let's just make sure we pick up, Logan Wilson. He's the Mike, but we bring the heat this time." And Tom Brady's uncomfortable with, just like you talked about, T, that up the middle pressure from DJ Reader. So he tries stepping up in the pocket, but he ends up fumbling the ball, and that's another turnover, right? And then of course, it happens again. We show the exact same look. We drop eight, and we just happen to beat them. I can't remember if it was Tupou or Osai that got in there and hit Tom Brady. But he threw just like a fucking bottle rocket into the sky, and Jermaine Pratt comes up with the interception, and wow.
I think
So
just to interrupt a little bit here.
no, you're
What
good.
is
Go ahead.
what is it with I want to have a stat where we talk about like game sealing interceptions because I think Jermaine Pratt is the leader in them. Like,
Yeah, dude. Starting with
over the
last year
last 2
against the Raiders. Yeah,
yes.
absolutely
Yes.
in the playoffs. Like just
Woo!
sealing the deal. Jermaine Pratt is playing himself. Pratt. particularly into a killer deal this offseason. But
Hmm.
man, we can't say enough about how efficient that defense was. Okay, but a great defensive effort is nothing. If the offense can't see the deal. Okay, in the first half, Joe Burrow, that first drive, man, we were looking great. T. Higgins for 10, Joe Mixon for 8. I think T. Higgins again for 10, Tyler Boyd for 8. And then Jamar Chase was on a route that he probably could have taken to the house if you're looking at the all 22. But again, Joe Burrow's biggest flaw is that he throws so quickly that it is at a flatter trajectory. So if the defense is keen enough to like get their hands up and tip it, that led to that Davis interception. Um, Jamar Chase was being shut down all day by Carlton Davis, so you got to give him props, man. He
Yeah,
played really,
big
really
ups to
well.
him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very, very well. Um,
Very handsy. That was good. That was a smart play against Chase.
mhm. Absolutely, man. And look, dude, I'll just say this: you cannot stop this Cincinnati offense when they get rolling. P. Ryan, Mixon, really coming out here. The run game was not stout, but it was enough to open up these like quick passes, which is exactly what they did. For the first time this year, all three of the homies got a touchdown. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Jamar Chase. All three got touchdowns. And really the most open one was T. Higgins, who, they just ran like a simple crosses pattern. Three people went with Jamar Chase. One guy ran into another defender, and T. Higgins was just wide open in the back. It was absolutely insane. I don't blame him, dude, because Jamar Chase is nasty. So you've
Yeah.
got you've got to respect that because Joe Burrow loves that connection there, and he's going to throw the ball. And then Wilcox, like what a guy. Uh, Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow saying after the game that's something they had schemed up in practice, and they saw the opportunity there and they just called it. They didn't even have to score. They
Hmm.
chose to though. Joe Burrow with 4 touchdowns, 200 yards passing. Like that's how crazy of a day this guy had. Like no deep balls, no go balls, but he had 4 touchdowns. He only had 200 yards.
Hmm.
Of course, the interception, but second half Bengals is absolutely nasty. I do not want to see this team right now if I'm the New England Patriots or the Buffalo Bills, even. That's going to be an insane slugfest here
Yeah.
to start off the year 2023. Um, I just can't say enough about the Cincinnati team, man. It's very, very exciting how in the second half of the season they just flip a switch and you can see it. Like Joe Burrow's in kill mode. Um, yeah, I mean, there's really nothing else to say. Tom Brady looked, after you give up 4 turnovers in a row, it doesn't really matter what you do in garbage time. Like, good for you. Mike Evans looked great in the first half. Godwin looked great in the first half.
Hmm.
They're really doing whatever they wanted on offense. They just like,
Truly.
yeah, they just lost their opportunities, man. Is there anything else you'd like to add here, brother, before we move on?
Yeah, let me just, again, let me give Carlton Davis his flowers against Jamar Chase. There was an attempt for a touchdown um, where Jamar Chase was lined up one on one with Carlton Davis, and Romo even pointed it out in the broadcast, and he's like, I'm gonna watch for Joe Burrow to go here with the ball, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I mean, they want this, obviously. They want this because they believe in their corner and they believe in what he can do. And during the play, Jamar Chase basically just goes straight back. He does, I think, like a comeback route in the end zone, and I mean, Carlton Davis is just there fighting with his hands constantly, flipping them out of the way, turning them all around, and then Jamar Chase can't get his head back around in time to grab the ball. So the fact that Carlton Davis was able to disrupt the Burrow Chase mind meld, and you take on Jamar Chase, one of the best receivers in the league, one on one. It's just a testament to how well he played against how well he took his assignment this week. So just wanted to give him props for that. Fortunately, I didn't get to see the second half of this game. I only got to see the bad first half, but
I know,
you know
right?
if the Cincinnati defense is only a 30-minute team, but they put their 30 minutes into the most important part of the game, the second half, the adjustments needed in the second half to seal victory. I'll take it. This Cincinnati defense is full of a lot of smart veterans who know how to play with each other well. There's continuity in the unit, and of course, Lou Anarumo deserves his flowers as well for the way he's able to scheme up and work with his smart veterans to create a game plan for second halves. Just all around impressive performance, extending the win streak with a tough win for Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, hell yeah, brother. And it's almost like Cincinnati comes in with two different playbooks and they're like, oh shit, that didn't work. All right. Well, now let's do this one.
Seriously.
And it works every time. It's it's
Hmm.
it's really incredible to watch. That's what makes this team very exciting. Another team that's very exciting right now, the Los Angeles Chargers, who hosted the Tennessee Vrabels. Yeah, I mean they're definitely not Titans because they're just getting crushed every week. Like, what is this? A Greek mythos? I don't know, but I'll tell you this: um, Los Angeles really came in and played very well here. Now the score isn't going to tell you that. Boogie, would you mind disclosing the final in this one?
I can disclose the final in this one. It is the Tennessee Titans 14, but the Los Angeles Chargers 17.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, the Chargers didn't even score for two quarters. They scored in the first and scored in the fourth. Um, like, that's really how wild this game was. The defense for the Chargers looked awkwardly good at best, um, but well enough to stop this Tennessee Titans team, who was seemingly, I mean, it was like 14-7 for a quarter, like almost a full quarter, and you thought that Tennessee was going to eke out a win here, but once again, falling, just really failing to close it out.
Mhm.
Justin Herbert just putting on a show. Again, a team I don't want to see right now. The Chargers, because they're getting all their weapons on offense back. Their defense is beginning to get healthy. If you get Bosa back, and is it Derwin James that's also out?
I believe so,
Uh,
yes.
Pardon me for not knowing that, America. But yeah, if you get those two back, like you're talking about a completely different defense, especially because you have Khalil Mack and then you also got Bose out there. Like, holy shit, man. What a wild time to be alive. I think that, yeah, the Chargers are one of the most dangerous playoff team or wild card teams coming into the last half of the season. Again, how you play in December is who you are, right? Looking at you, Tampa Bay, looking at you, Tennessee. Like, it's dangerous, bro. It's dangerous for Tennessee right now.
Hmm.
Jacksonville could fuck around and supersede them for the top seed in the AFC South.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, was there anything that you saw from this game that really stood out to you, bud?
Just exciting news. In addition to Joey Bosa coming back, the
Oh, I
Chargers are
said Nick
optimistic.
Bosa. I'm so sorry, Joey Bosa. Pardon me.
Yeah, no biggie. In addition to Joey Bosa making it back, the Chargers are also optimistic that left tackle Rashawn Slater can make it back from his presumably season-ending bicep injury earlier this year.
Mm.
Um, you know, more protection on the line will give Justin Herbert more time to work his magic. So, he might be coming back at the right time for a uh, surging Chargers offense. I really didn't have anything from this game to talk about. Dicker the kicker yet again bringing home the win for the Chargers.
Mhm.
And with the addition of Mike Williams' yards from this game, wide receivers named Mike Williams all time in the NFL have surpassed 11,940 yards, which is good for 29th on the all-time receiver list, passing Michael Irvin. That is a factoid from the Chargers writer for the Athletic. Just
Okay.
I didn't come up with that myself, but they he figured that out, I guess. But fun little fact. I love that so much I had to include it. Shout out to the Athletic, um, best publication that you can pay money to get your sports news from. Little plug there, in case they want to sponsor us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Just a really like slow, grinded out game, man. Not a lot of points being scored. Austin Eckler looked really great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's really
Derrick
all.
Henry came on a
Oh,
little too late.
ooh. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's really all she wrote in that regard. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll talk about the Sunday night football game. The New York Giants at the Washington Commanders. Washington was favored minus 4.5. What was the final in this one, Bug?
Final was the New York Giants 20 and the Commanders 12.
Yeah, man.
Good
Really,
thing we had.
yeah. I mean, you have to because this was definitely a pick 'em. I don't know. Washington was favored minus 4.5. This was 1,000,000% a pick 'em. What is
That's
like,
purely Heineke magic, you know.
yeah. I don't know what they were thinking. I think there was just a lot of juice for Washington because they were rolling, but
Yeah, I mean, I bet Vegas was trying to make back some of that mattress Mac money from the World Series by putting so much juice on Heineke Magic, knowing America would bet all that way and they could make back a chunk of change.
yeah, absolutely, man, and they definitely did that. The New York Giants, though, looking just all right as usual.
Yep.
Saquon having the team on his back. Can tell you the stat line. Pardon me, it eludes me with my yawny brain, but Washington really looked anemic, man. They didn't really look like they were moving the ball very well, especially against these weak ass corners like Terry McLaurin. I'm sure had a day. Brian Robinson's touchdown got called back. That really would have put Washington like in the mix here. Was there really anything from this game that stood out to you, Bug?
There's a few things. Kayvon Thibodeau, I believe the second pick overall in
Oh
this,
yeah,
uh,
yeah. Mhm.
getting the beautiful trifecta of a strip sack, a recovery, and a touchdown, all in the same play. Just the most like probably like besides like hitting a grand slam, one of the most beautiful things you can see in sports. Um, and of course, we're talking a lot about well, Pat McAfee and all the other talking heads are talking a lot about the officiating for this game. Speaking of Terry McLaurin, Terry, for a play that got called for I think illegal formation, Terry literally looked over at the referee and was
Oh,
like,
I
"Hey, am
saw
I
that.
good? Hey, am I good where I'm at?" And the ref was like, "Yeah, you're great." And then the play starts and the ref immediately throws a flag. So, just a game that was marred by, unfortunate officiating at the end, but the Giants showing that they got a little something, they got a little juice left in the tank. They still have a winning record, which is, wild to me. But, down the stretch, are we still going to see all of the NFC East teams in the playoffs? Probably not. It would be cool because that's historic, but the NFC East still showing that they got a little something, at least when they're playing against each other.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Another team that proved they still had a little something left is going to be the Green Bay Packers, who really worked over the Los Angeles Rams at home on Monday Night Football. Green Bay was favored -7. And what was the final in that one, Boogie?
Well, they achieved their goal of going over 7 because the Packers got 24 points to the Los Angeles Rams 12.
Yeah, and Baker Mayfield looked okay. I mean, didn't look great by any means.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers looked okay. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was out here throwing the ball, much like Aaron Rodgers does.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
the Packers were functional, I would say,
Yeah,
is probably. Oh,
exactly. Oh, I was like, what? Did someone really tear their ACL or
no,
Achilles?
no, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
okay. I was like, holy
Nah,
shit.
I
What?
messed up.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Uh-huh.
Um, what wouldn't
Yeah,
that would not be funny. Sorry, but I
would
mean,
not.
like, that's a
Wouldn't it be
wild
wild? Yeah. It's tragic. It's a tragic field.
dude.
Everybody
What the
says it's the
fuck,
worst field in the NFL. Yeah, wake yourself up. Get
dude?
some
I
more
don't
of
know
that
why I'm
Miami
yawning.
coffee, my
I'm not tired. I'm just
man.
yawning.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm dehydrated. Might grab some water here.
There you go. I mean, this is the megaplex, man. We gotta take a water break in between. I can I could talk to the people while you're gone. That's why I got my big jug of water.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna go grab some water before we get into these Week 16 matchups, starting with the Thursday night slugfest with the Jacksonville Jaguars at the New York Jets. Cat swatting jets out of the sky. That's what's gonna happen this Thursday, bro. Jacksonville's flying high. I'm about to grab some water before I die. BRB. Yes, Boogie. What's up?
I'll just say the key to the Green Bay Rams game is that Green Bay pressured Baker Mayfield on 38.5% of his dropbacks, which, anybody getting pressured that much, they're not going to be able to do anything. The reason why Matthew Stafford says yet another back injury with a history of back injuries is because the LA Rams offensive line continues to be hot fucking garbage.
Yeah, dude, it's
That's
almost
all.
yeah, it's almost as if be sure to reply to Nico regarding our playoff tickets while I go grab this water.
Sure.
I will be right back, brother. Give me 1 sec.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks, America.
Yeah, how we doing today, America? Basically, Garth just said, "Hey, America, can you watch my brother while I go get some water?" We're just gonna change some lines here. Looks like we got some line movement. I don't I don't know why. This must be the sharps. They're moving the New York Jets line to -2.5 from -1.5 earlier in the week. I don't know why the Jets are getting favored so heavily. Um, it feels like they're trying to maybe get some action on the other side, even out the numbers. Just weird stuff. What's hilarious is that in the Tennessee game, the line's moving towards the Texans, uh, and rightfully so. Tennessee looks like they're on a skid. The Texans look suddenly competitive. I guess now that their record doesn't really matter uh, for uh, draft positioning. Um, but yeah, I mean, I could talk about lines all day, but
All right, and we're back.
G has G has returned. Let's fucking go.
Okay,
Baby, let's fucking go.
so
Oh,
let's fire off these games, brother.
let's do it, buddy.
We're an hour in. First up, we got Jacksonville at the New York Jets. Obviously, rhyme time was big before I took off. Look, I'm gonna take Jacksonville here. I think they're rolling right now. The Jets, yes, they have a really good defense, but Trevor Lawrence is playing out of his mind.
Yeah, it's weird. The line, as I told the viewers while you were off getting water, the lines moved from New York Jets -1.5 to -2.5. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know who, except maybe there's a huge New York contingent who's betting on the Jets because they want them to stay in the playoffs. They're betting with their hearts instead of with their minds.
Yeah,
But I'm taking Jacksonville as well. They're rolling right now. The New York Jets are stumbling. They've got just bad quarterbacks at the helm. I don't think they're going to be able to stand up against the Jaguars in this game.
yeah, I agree. We're talking about bad quarterbacks at the helm. Let's go ahead and talk about the New England Patriots, who are looking awfully stagnant without the effect of their running game. Cincinnati favored by -3. We'll go ahead and take team bias here. Bill Belichick talking about Joe Burrow this weekend was again classic Bill Belichick. Yeah, he's really good. He makes big plays and big situations, and he's good. He's good. We'll stand in there and take a hit. He'll play well. So I'm really excited for that one. Boogie,
Now I need your opinion.
yo,
How much did Bill Belichick talk about Burrow? Because the Bill Belichick principle is that the amount of time and the amount of praise that Bill Belichick keeps on a team is inversely proportional to how much he actually respects that team and expects to win against them. How
really?
much was he effusive in his praise of Burrow, or was he
Um,
was he pretty terse? Would you say?
wow. I mean, I would say that he did nothing but compliment him.
Hmm.
Um,
Uh
I,
oh,
I will say that he spent only like a grand total of like 40 seconds talking about it. So
gotcha.
it's really
Yeah, he'll talk for 8 minutes about how the Houston Texans are a complete team, but then, a team he actually respects, he'll spend 30 seconds on and then move on or try to get the reporter to move on. So
Yeah, exactly.
just one of those things that people have observed from the normally reticent Bill Belichick.
Heard that, man. Yo, a team that really needs this dub. We got the Buffalo Bills at Chi-Town, Chicago. Man, it's going to be a cold one up there. Buffalo used to playing in the cold. Better running game than Chi-Town. Give me Buffalo here, Boogie. Favored -8. What are you thinking here?
Um, hmm. Yeah, they're expecting a bomb cyclone in this game. So I don't think Josh Allen's going to be as effective throwing. I think Buffalo will win, but -8 is too much for me. So I'm going to take Chicago to cover the spread. Justin Fields out here, one of only three quarterbacks in the league to get 1,000 yards rushing in a season. I think he and the Chicago Bears running game will still be effective, whether it's cold or hot. Um, and Buffalo's shown that they have a little bit in the tank, so it's going to be really who's better at rushing. It's kind of an even deal. So I think this is going to be a close game, maybe I don't know, maybe a 21-17 kind of affair.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at.
Heard that, bro. Yeah, I mean, definitely sounds like something that could happen, or it could just be a running day all over. Josh Allen runs for a couple and Singletary and the like. We'll see, man. Of
Yeah.
course, next up we got New Orleans at Cleveland. It's going to be also cold as fuck. Cleveland -2.5. Give me Cleveland here. They're
Hmm.
the better team out of these two awful teams. And
Absolutely.
Deshaun Watson's looking more comfortable in this offense. Highly unfortunate in that regard.
It's going to be 10 degrees. Even though Kareem Hunt wants out of Cleveland, let's keep in mind the fact that they have the best running back in the league and possibly the best running back tandem in the league.
Yeah.
So they're going to be able to get it done against this Saints team, even with Cam Jordan heading up that fearsome defensive line for the Saints.
Yeah, I think so, man. Next up, we got the Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee really needing any sort of win, being favored -3 here. Go ahead and give me
Hmm.
Tennessee. Obviously, Houston's the worst team in the league, so
Yeah, not much more to say to that. Again, this is going to be a 17-degree game, so they're not going to want Derrick Henry bearing down on them and battering their bodies in this game. So I think Tennessee will be able to pull out a reasonably comfortable win, even though they are on a skid right now.
absolutely. Next up, of course, we got Seattle at Kansas City. Kansas City favored -10. That's absolutely ridiculous. Give me Kansas City to win, Seattle to cover. I think
Hmm.
this is definitely on my upset alerts. I think that Seattle could come and you know upset Kansas City, which would really help out team bias. I don't know,
Yeah.
Boogie. What are your thoughts, feelings, concerns here?
Geno Smith, coming into this game with his first Pro Bowl selection in year 10. I think is that the Seattle Seahawks are probably going to end the season around 500, but they've still got juice left to snatch a couple wins or upsets or even just covering the spread here and there. I completely agree. I'm going to take Kansas City to win, Seattle Seahawks to cover. It's going to be an 11-degree day, so nobody's going to be able to throw deep very effectively. Um, so I think yeah, it's just going to be a close one. It's too cold for it not to be a close one, especially in
Yeah,
Arrowhead Stadium with that, the wind chill is probably going to take it down to like -15 or something goofy.
yeah, we'll see, man. It'll definitely
Mhm.
be something to watch for sure. Another game that we're going to watch is the New York Giants at the Minnesota Vikings inside of a dome. Minnesota is favored -4. Minnesota really needs a dub to feel good about themselves, especially heading into the final weeks of the year here. Give me Minnesota to win. I'm going to hedge. Give me Giants to cover because I don't
Uh,
know which Minnesota team is going to show up. Boogie, I see you're taking
yeah,
the Giants.
I am going to take the Giants. I think Minnesota got out by the skin of its teeth last week. And I think the New York Giants feeling good about their performance last week will look to secure their position in the NFC playoffs. And it's good for the Detroit Lions if the Vikings, lose out. So, it's also I'm thinking with my heart instead of my mind. Um, I want that Cinderella story to continue. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Giants. If they lose, I'm happy with that. I'll because I'm taking them on the hedge anyway, and I don't think Minnesota's gonna be able to get more than 3 over on these New York Giants.
Yeah, man, we'll see. Speaking of Detroit, of course, they are at Carolina. Detroit is favored -2.5. Go ahead and give me that all day. It's going to be super cold. Detroit, they do play in a dome, but I think they'll find a way to really pull out on this one. Carolina looking suspect at best. Last week against a awkward Pittsburgh Steelers team.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the Detroit Lions, while they are a weaker defense than the Carolina Panthers faced last week, I think their offense more than makes up for it. And I mean, just Carolina's, quarterback room is like you say, suspect right now with, only Sam Darnold and gosh, PJ Walker in there. Um, and Jared Goff's shown that if he can stay protected, he's effective. I don't think I don't think the Carolina defense is going to get much penetration against him. So yeah, I'll take Detroit as well to continue their win streak.
Hell yeah, man. This one kind of confuses me here. We got Atlanta at Baltimore. It's going to be stupid cold in Baltimore. Baltimore being favored by -6.5, even though Atlanta's got obviously the better run team. I don't really know
Mm-hmm.
what Vegas is doing here. Is Lamar Jackson coming back?
Lamar Jackson is returning for this game, presumably. So that's probably how they're getting the advantage here.
Okay.
And also because they installed a rookie quarterback, so maybe they're looking at that and saying, they're probably not going to be that effective in the offensive end of things.
Okay, give me Baltimore to win, but give me Atlanta to cover. Really, I don't know who's going to win this one. Lamar Jackson coming off a knee, especially in the cold. That's
Hmm.
that's got to feel weird, right?
Yeah, I'm going to very unwisely take Baltimore to cover the spread here. This is going to be maybe the two most electric or most effective running rooms in the league, showing up against each other. I just think Baltimore has Lamar, it has Dobbins, it has Mark Andrews. I think they're going to be able to get it done in the run game and in the short passing game effectively enough to stymie the rookie quarterback led Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I think so as well. Speaking of a defense that's going to stymie, the San Francisco 49ers hosting the Washington Commanders. I mean, San Francisco by 7, I don't think is enough here. San Francisco is going to absolutely roll this team. Give me give me San Francisco across the board here, Boogie.
Love that. I'm going to take a look at the last few weeks, how many points that the Commanders have scored. For the last 4 weeks, it's been 23, 19, 20, and 12. Yeah, seems silly. Yeah, I'm going to take San Francisco as well. San Francisco has, the opportunity to score 35 in any given game with their very quarterback-friendly offense, and their absolutely stellar running back room. And
Mhm.
if Washington continues to score in the high teens, low 20s, they're just not going to be able to stand the onslaught. So I'll take San Francisco as well, and San Francisco to cover this pretty big line.
Yeah, I heard that. Of course, next up we have another large line, in my opinion, even though at only 5.5. Dallas hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are flying right now.
Hmm.
Even with Gardner Minshew, yikes, that's tough. Because I mean, without Jalen Hurts, I don't really know, man, but I don't trust this Dallas team. So
I'll tell you what, I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles on this one. I
yeah,
think, Minshew's got a little more magic left in him. It is unfortunate that he spent a lot of time this week away from the team as he was going to coach Mike Leach's funeral. He loved that guy. He loved what he brought to the table. He apparently tried to, when he was drunk on Jack Daniels, Gardner Minshew tried to break his hand so he could get one more year of eligibility to play for Mike Leach, which is just a wild story to think about. But I think even with that, um, all of the skills of the position players for the Philadelphia Eagles will be able to put up enough numbers um, to take care of take care of the Dallas Cowboys. The only thing I'm concerned about is who Micah Parsons is going to be matching up against on that offensive line. If it's Lane Johnson, I think they'll be able to, I think they'll be able to hold off the rush enough for Gardner to be able to distribute the ball. If it's the other side of the line, I'm not even sure who's on the other side.
Yeah.
We may see some problems, and I may end up having to eat my words come next Wednesday.
Yeah, go ahead and give me Dallas, but give me Philly to cover. I don't really, I don't think Dallas is going to do it big, but they need a win, man. Oh my God. If they lose again, then this is just embarrassing for them.
Yeah, it's going to be, I don't know. I'm thinking like the metaphor is like a hollow statue, like it's covered in gold leaf, but it's made of plaster. That's what the Dallas Cowboys are going to be moving into the playoffs if they can't get a win here. They're gonna
Absolutely.
they're gonna look mighty, but they're gonna be easily broken.
100%, man. Yeah, I guess the last Christmas Eve game, before we
Hmm.
settle into this great Christmas lineup here. Great. Wow, I didn't even look at it first. Whoops. We got Las Vegas at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is going to be freezing, absolutely freezing on Christmas Eve.
Yes, sir.
Um, Pittsburgh minus 2.5. I believe in Josh Jacobs more than I believe in Najee Harris. Give me Las Vegas here.
Yeah, I think that's a smart move. I'm also going to take Las Vegas here. I know people want to see Tomlin extend his streak of winning seasons, but I think you know I don't think Devontae Adams is going to be. Uh, I'm using the word again. Sorry, it's just the word of the week. I don't think he's going to be stymied for a second week in a row, even against this powerful Steelers defense. I think the Raiders are better and more spirited than their record would suggest. And like you said, Josh Jacobs has been on an absolute tear. I believe he's currently leading the league in rushing yards at nearly 1,500. I think his streak of beautiful running games is going to continue, and he's going to pace this Las Vegas team as they rout the Pittsburgh Steelers on this Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of a big route, man, starting this Christmas morning matchup, we got the Miami Dolphins hosting Green Bay. Like, wow, dude, Miami's probably gonna roll here, like big time, and they should. I'm gonna take Miami here across the board, Boogie.
This Green Bay team just looks okay moving forward. If they want to have a chance at sniffing the playoffs, they do have to win out. But this is a get right game for the Miami Dolphins. They are down in their own home turf. It's going to be 57 degrees down there. I don't think that's going to adversely affect Tua Tagovailoa and this skill position platoon for the Miami Dolphins as they comfortably win against the Green Bay Packers this Christmas.
Absolutely, dude. Another gift for Christmas is having this dud of a game. Denver at Los Angeles Rams. Um, who knows if Russell Wilson's going to be back? I don't know, man. Doesn't even really matter. If Russell Wilson plays, the Rams win. If Kyle Ripken plays, Denver wins. Um, shit. I don't even know, dude. What are you doing here, bud?
The fact that the highlight for Denver last week was Latavius Murray in his 45th year in the league, um, you know, leading the rushing attack is concerning.
Yeah.
Man, I just don't trust either of these teams enough to make a really strong call one way or another. Um,
Exactly. I guess give me Denver to win and the Rams to cover because it's probably going to be like a 17-16 game or
you know
50.
what? It feels weak to do, but I am going to completely agree with you on that one. I just don't see a way forward for either of these teams. I think they both lose this game, actually, is how this ends up.
Yo, if it ended in a tie, that'd be sick.
Uh-huh.
That'd be sick.
Exactly. Wait, what would we have to bet? Well, I guess you can't bet a tie, but yeah, this is a smart bet for a tie. This might be a 16-16 game.
Yeah, very well could be. Another team that could end up being a 16-16 game is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Arizona Cardinals. Tampa Bay -7.5, and boy, I haven't seen a more ridiculous spread in my life. Give me Tampa
Look,
Bay to win. Give me Arizona to cover. Like, what? Tampa Bay is gonna win by more than a touchdown? Yeah, right. We'll see.
look, I'm as an Arizona Cardinals fan, I am warning you. I'm heavily encouraging you. I'm begging you on hands and knees. Don't take Arizona to cover the spread. Colt McCoy's out with a concussion. Kyler Murray's out for the year. Trace McSorley is starting for the Arizona Cardinals. And this is exactly the kind of quarterback that this Tampa Bay defense can feast on. And, if Tom Brady can just be effective in this game, it's going to be like a 35-14 or a 28-14. In any way you cut it, they're going to cover the spread. But that's just my opinion. You don't have to take it as gospel. But boy, howdy, Trace McSorley. While people make memes about him being the greatest of all time because he's actually garbage. So that's
That's
just
you know
that's just
what?
where
Yeah,
I'm
I
at.
guess you're right. Go ahead and give me Tampa Bay across the board.
Hey, let me talk to you. Let me talk you into my opinion on another game involving the Arizona Cardinals, and then watch as we get red across the board for it.
It's
There you
possible.
go, baby.
I guess this last matchup, the post Christmas hangover game, is going to be the Chargers at Indianapolis. Chargers by -4.5. Go ahead and give me the Chargers across the board. Matt Ryan getting benched for the second time this year. Um,
Or
af-
Big Dick Nick Foles.
that's
My
right.
God.
Big Dick Nick coming in and slinging that sausage all over the field, bro. Like, good, good for him. Um, you
Damn.
know, I don't know what Indy's doing, man. Like Matt Ryan put up 3 points in the second half after a 33-point first half, which wasn't
Mhm.
really all him to begin with. A lot of defense and special
Mhm.
teams there, but that's neither here nor there. It is, however, more than aware that the Chargers are playing for their wild card seed right now, and they are surging, dude. They are they're fast charging out here. 20 minutes,
Justin Herbert is the first quarterback in NFL history to have 4,000 yards in each of his first 3 seasons. I figure he's going to continue stacking those bricks as he
Jesus,
as he continues along
I
to
did not know
close
that.
out the season. Yes, sir. Absolutely. He's at 4,019 yards so far on the year.
Wow, that's a lot of yards. Yeah, go ahead and yeah,
A lot of yards.
give me that easy dub for the Chargers on Monday night in Indianapolis. Should
I
be
don't know. I don't know if you heard that can clinking into the garbage can, but that's going to be the sound of the Indianapolis Colts hitting the bottom of the barrel here on Monday night.
yeah, absolutely, man. Jeff Saturday should have a better year next year when they dump Matt Ryan and get a quarterback who can actually throw the ball. Look,
Yeah, like Big Nick.
yeah, man, why not?
Why else
Like,
is he starting
yeah, exactly. He's got to see what he's got. That's kind of how it feels.
in in the 35-year-old? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Great slate, great megaplex, dude. We rounded it up with
Mhm.
a little under an hour and a half, so really, really good work, Boogie.
I love
Um,
that.
absolutely, man. Props. You know what? Let's just take a Christmas buy on these. I don't have anything personally. Do you?
I'm gonna throw something down.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, I think more unders are gonna hit than overs this week
Okay, heard that.
because of just like the ludicrous amount of cold games that are coming this week.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a good call.
Yeah. Ow.
I think we're gonna have how many games we got? One, two, six. All right, give me 1,600 yards total rushing this week, like just because of all the cold games.
1,600 yits plus league wide. Love it. Love
So,
that.
yeah, man. It's just gonna be that kind of week, dude. I just see it happening.
Hmm.
Um,
Just 100-yard rusher in each game at least,
I
or
mean,
combination
team,
there.
yeah, a team rushing for. I mean, damn, should I double it? Because there's 32 teams, so should it be 3,200 yards? Like, I feel like maybe each team will rush for 100. No, 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 that's stupid. I shouldn't do that. Let me do 2,000.
Well, let me put it this way: the team that is um, the least effective at rushing in the league is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they average 76 yards rushing as a team per week. So
Mm.
tough.
Okay, give
Most
me
of the teams are going to be over 100 yards rushing each
yeah,
week.
give me 2,000 just to make it a little more like finite there.
I may have to talk you out of this one, but we can discuss that later on.
I mean, I think it'll work, bro. Especially with all the cold games. San Francisco might fuck around and have 200. I could see Dallas and Philly having 200 easy. I don't know. Whatever, bro. I'll just let it roll. Who cares? I didn't know what to prop, so
True.
we'll make it happen. Well, shit, Buggy,
Yeah.
is there anything else you'd like to say before we get out of here, big dog?
Oh. Nope.
Okay,
Any
sick.
any Christmas opinions? How do you feel about opening a present on Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
How's that
So I was always my family always did Christmas Eve presents.
Mm-hmm.
And then Christmas
As well.
Day, I would open immediate family. So it was kind of like Christmas Eve was like extended family, and Christmas Day was immediate family. That kind of
Okay.
deal.
Yeah.
But you, Buggy.
Yeah, it was just one present, whatever choice you wanted to make, one present on Christmas Eve, and then the rest get
Mm.
opened on Christmas Day. Um, my folks didn't really have like I don't think we had people over. We didn't go over to other people's houses for Christmas parties, so nothing too fancy in the execution. What are we having for dinner this Christmas? What's the move?
Grilled cheese.
I love that.
Yeah, I
God
don't
damn.
know, man.
Just a
Actually,
stack
that's
of fucking grilled cheese.
yeah, that's a really good question. I need to talk to Kat about that because I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to the lovely
Yeah.
wife.
Could have yourself a Jewish Christmas and get some Chinese.
Mm, could. It's actually not a bad idea.
Hmm. Go to the movie theater, get some Chinese. That's a true Jewish Christmas, man.
Exactly, dude. Pay for one ticket, stay there all day.
Ah, love that. Best tactic of all. I love it.
Yeah, right. Well, cool, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what it is, America. From one to dope bro to another. You'll enjoy the rest of this beautiful, beautiful, cold ass holiday weekend.
Day
Um,
one. Make sure you run a trickle of water in all of your faucets so your pipes don't freeze. That's
Absolutely,
from
man.
that's from a non-dad dad to all my childrens out there.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, yo, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all you out there. Um,
Absolutely.
enjoy the rest of this beautiful 2022. Will we catch you in 2023, or will we be back before then? I don't
We'll
know.
be back before then. We'll wish you a happy New Year next week.
All right, cool. Sounds like a plan. Well, shit, man. It's been an absolute pleasure, Boogie. Great job on the Megaplex, dude. My brain is burnt. Yo,
I love
America,
it.
it's been real. Peace.